Howdy, guys. Attorney Walter Hnot. Now, you know that I'm a practicing disability attorney. One of the things I like to go into are essentially the little nuances of Social Security disability hearings. And one of the things you have to keep in mind and understand when it comes to them is that every single hearing is unique. Every single hearing has its own ups and downs. Now, one of the things I want to go through with this is that these are the questions that you will almost always hear at a Social Security disability hearing. And the reason basically this occurs is that these questions are fundamental pretty much across all cases. Now, you're still going to get people in the chat section, the comment section saying, hey, I didn't have that question in my hearing, or my hearing only had 3 questions, blah, blah, blah. But for a standardized hearing, for a traditional hearing, these are the questions you're pretty much always going to be hearing. So let's go through them real quick. Please remember to like, please remember to subscribe. Here we go. The first classic question that you'll always get at a Social Security disability hearing that you should be used to answering are the following. What is your name? What is your age? What is your date of birth? And what is your Social Security number, right? Those are the classic questions that you'll have a Social Security disability hearing for SSDI or SSI benefits, right? That's your classic intro question. So get used to saying those things over and over. The way that I traditionally ask the question is, go ahead and state your name for the record. Okay, good. What is your current age, date of birth, and are you left or right-handed? That's usually how I start because they're easy questions. I clump them together. Let's just get them out of the way so we can get to the more important questions. Number 2, why did you file for disability benefits? Or why do you believe that you are unable to work? Real quick, Clarissa Castillo, very cool. Thank you for the $1.99 donation. Super duper love the little fox. That's awesome. Very cool. I see our moderator is on. That's even better. Very good. We got Clarissa and our moderator on. This is good. We're doing very well. Excellent. So here's the deal with this next question. This next question is probably the most difficult Social Security question, and it comes right up front, and people don't do well with it. So I know I've broken it down many times before. I know that a lot of people have their own approach to it. Let me go ahead and tell you what a claimant is normally thinking when they hear this question. Let me tell you what a judge is usually thinking when they're asking the question. And let me tell you what I'm usually thinking as the claimant will actually answer it. So why did you file for disability benefits when you did? The claimant, when they hear that question, is usually thinking, because I couldn't do stuff, right? That's the classic thing. My mama this, my mama that, right? They have this mental quick little flutter that goes on. They're like, because of this, because of that. Now, my claimants, they're organized. They know how to answer this question because we give them a systematic approach to answer. But most claimants, their brain's like, because I'm disabled. They just have this explosion of the mind moment where they're just like, oh, that thought or this impairment or that impairment. So the bottom line to understand this is that the judges know from this question which claimants were prepared for the hearing and which ones were not prepared for the hearing. They know also, it's kind of like with personal injury attorneys, which ones take, claims to actual court and which ones just settle a bunch. Like disability judges know the attorneys that actually prepare their claimants. So one of the first things that happens with this is that when the judge hears, okay, they'll ask the question, why did you file for disability benefits? And then if the claimant comes back and says, Your Honor, my top 5 impairments are boop, 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 boop. They started and became severe on boop, 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 boop. The side effects and the signs of these impairments are boop, 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 boop. My medications and side effects are da, 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 da. And therefore I couldn't do essentially those functions at the jobs that I used to have within the past 15 years. Now, when a judge hears a claimant come out and say, I couldn't do these functions at these jobs, and they go, this job, da, 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 right? And those are the jobs within the past 15 years. That judge's brain is going, wait a minute, this claimant's been prepared. They know what they're doing. Okay, here we go. And that's a good thing because the judge then knows that more questions are going to be able to be asked. More questions are going to be able to be answered. They're going to be able to go deeper and deeper, as opposed to claimants who are not prepared at all. A claimant will spew out a bunch of story mode crap. They'll be all over the place. They won't even get to all of their impairments. And we'll just end up in this, like, not really answering the question situation. And then the judge has to go back to it, has to specify more detail to it, etc. Linda Soto, the fur babies are good. They're actually watching Star Wars in the other room. So they're doing good. They're doing very good. All right. Now, with that said, just go through a couple of these little details real quick. I should not have worn sweatpants for this because the lights they're just extra hot today. Hold on. Let me get the clicker thing going on. Oh, there we go. All right. So we should be okay. Now, with that said, the best way to answer this question, the why do you believe that you're now unable to work? When did you become unable to work? What was the last time that you worked? Why did you file for disability benefits when you did? The best way to approach that right up front, if you can't do anything else, what are your top 5 impairments? Right? Get them out there. I can't work because uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. Boom, done. That's incredibly important because it helps set up the future of questions based off of that. That's why when I always tell people when it comes to hearings, you've really got to nail down the basic questions in the beginning so that we can go much farther, by the time we get 20 minutes into this thing and we're rolling and we're going and yada, yada. Now, another way that people normally answer this, just so you know, is they'll go, well, back before I was working my last job, I was having a tough time and I couldn't really figure out what was going on. But then I was saying, I went to my doctor and they told me some things might be like this. But then my employer asked me one day what was going on. Right. We don't want that. We don't want somebody swimming all around in that question, trying to figure out which way they're going to go with it. Top 5 impairments. If you mention your top 5 impairments, say that's why I was unable to work. And then you go into literally when they began and when they became severe, but these dates in your head. And then you go into basically, you could go into medication or you could go into job functions, right? The functions at the job required me to do this, 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 and this. I can no longer do those things because of this, and this. That's the appropriate way to go ahead and approach that question. Linda Soto, thank you for the $4.99 donation. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Excellent. And guys, please remember to use the like button. It involves the finger, and the finger can go ahead and click the like button. Don't forget to use the subscribe pad and then the special all button finger. Excellent. Very good. I also see Diana Fernandez is in here. Very cool. And Scott, Candy Cousins. Very good. So here's basically what you need to know for the next question that you're almost certainly going to hear at the next hearing, if you ever have one. Okay, who does things around the house for you if you are so disabled? Let's go through that one again. Who does things around the house for you if you are so disabled or unable or can't do these other things? Or who makes food for you? Or who cleans for you? Or who does your laundry, right? This is a question that always pops up for people who claim that they can't do anything. You have to be able to back it up. You have to be able to have information to explain what you're not able to do and then who actually does those things. Now, there's wiggle room on the cleaning, right? Because, when it comes to cleaning, some people are like, yeah, I clean, yeah, but not much. I get enough done by myself. There's wiggle room on that. But there's no wiggle room on laundry. There's no wiggle room on food. Like, you have to eat, and then at some point you're going to have new clothing, or you're just going to have to go to a homeless shelter and get new clothing. So there's no wiggle room on those two. The cleaning part, you could be a mess and it could be all sloppy and piggy and whatever. But the bottom line is, you have to go ahead and be able to define, if you're not able to do functions like cooking, who does it for you? If you're not able to do functions like doing the laundry, able to lift the basket, put it into the thing, put the soap, blah, blah, blah. If you're not able to do that, you have to have your story, your background as to who actually helps you with those functions. Cool. Next one. All right. What is the highest level of education that you have completed? Now, this is important for a lot of reasons. It's important for transferable skilled work, right? When they're trying to figure out, could this person do a job? Are the skills that they've learned transferable to another job? These are important for that, right? We're trying to figure out where you are on the spectrum. Did you stop in 3rd grade? Did you stop in 7th grade? Did you stop in 12th grade? Did you get your diploma? Did you go to college? How many years? Do you have something beyond college? The reason why is the more educated you are, the more difficult it is to be found disabled, because there's more potential jobs out there that you could do. But look, if we're talking about a laborer type and they've only got a 5th grade education, then we don't expect them to go ahead and be a receptionist entering information into a client management system. It's not going to happen. So, understanding what the highest level of education is very important. Now, that also is traditionally on the 3368, but judges like to ask this question because it's also a question that can be an update to when they filled out that form like 3 years ago. So if they got any more recent education, any more certificates, diplomas, allowances, maybe a security clearance, etc., that's their opportunity to hear about new things that claimant might have achieved since they originally filled out that 3368 form. Final question before we go to the next video. Do you have car insurance? A car. And can you drive? Once again, do you have car insurance? A car. And can you drive? Or how do you transport yourself? Or how did you get to the hearing office today? Let's run them again. Do you have car insurance, a car, and can you drive? Or how do you transport yourself? Or how did you get to the hearing office today? Now, look, this question is the Swiss Army knife of questions when it comes to Social Security disability hearings, and here's why. When the judge asks you, do you have car insurance? Usually somebody's got to be able to read to some degree to be able to do that, be able to understand what's going on, be able to consistently pay a monthly bill. Usually when somebody's doing that, the person has a higher analysis and logic education. If they have a car, that means somewhere down the line they had money and somewhere down the line they learned how to drive. It also means they have the capacity to go to medical facilities that are not on the bus line and are beyond a bicycle's travel. And then can you drive? Classic thing is, let's say somebody has a back issue, right? What happens when you try to get into the car? What happens when you have to sit in the seat? How do you adjust the seat? Are you able to see the mirrors with your neck and back issues? Are you able to go ahead and reach the steering wheel? Are you able to turn the steering wheel fully? Are you able to go ahead and manipulate the left and right signal? Are you able to go ahead and turn on the lights? Are you able to go ahead and turn on the windshield wipers? Are you able to go ahead and turn around and look backwards if you need to? Those are all functions, and there's more than that are about your capacity to drive a car. Now, let's do the mental version of that. Let's say somebody has a mental problem when it comes to driving a car. Okay, so are you able to get into the car with multiple people? Are you able to drive long distances? Are you able to drive when there's no clear destination that's already mapped out for you? Are you able to follow instructions on your phone? Are you able to follow instructions on a map? Are you able to go ahead and deal with the speed of things going back past you quickly? Are you able to drive through hostile neighborhoods? Are you able to go ahead and make high-speed turns on a highway? Are you able to go ahead and basically, pull up to, somebody's house and get out and check the car in case there's a flat tire? There's so many options there with that question. And that's kind of the beautiful thing about it, is that it is truly the Swiss Army question. Now, some judges instead will ask this question: how do you transport yourself? This is a weaker question than the prior one. The how do you transport question is sometimes what's asked when it's a homeless person or super low income person that's basically sitting in front of the judge. Will I use the bus? Will I use a bicycle? Will I walk? Yada, yada. Maybe I use a scooter, maybe I use a motorcycle, etc. That, I think, is not as strong as a trial tactic question as the prior one, which is, do you have a car? Do you have car insurance? Can you drive? Now, the final question that I've seen judges ask at the end of the hearing, which is like a cross check, and they'll let enough time go by from the initial questions when they say that they drive or they say that they can't drive, right? And then basically at the very end of the hearing, they'll ask, oh, I just have one more question. How did you get to the hearing office today? And the claimant's like, oh, I drove. Oh, man. Because, and then the claimant's like, oh, no, my friend drove. I didn't drive. And they'll go through that. Like situation of like rolling their words and figuring out how they're going to shape this thing. But the bottom line is that's one of the tricky ones where they do it. They'll wait till the very end of the hearing and they'll say, oh, okay, how'd you get to the hearing office today? And they go, and then you'll notice, and they'll watch. Their eyes are pinned on that claimant. They are pinned on that claimant because they're watching to see that claimant, if they're going to lie, if they're going to tell the truth. Their eyes are pinned on that claimant, which is another reason telephonic hearings, frankly, give a lot more advantages to claimants than people traditionally talk about. Some people are like, oh, you don't want a telephonic hearing, you want an in-person hearing. Oh, yeah. They got it, blah, 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 blah. There are so many advantages to telephonic hearings at this point. Like, it's just, you basically strip from the judge the capacity to see what you're reading in front of you, what you're referencing in front of you, the lists that are pre-made. You're also stripping from the judge the ability to the judge to see your face like melt as you're asked a tough question, like all those things. So when claimants hear that question of, or how did you get to the hearing office today? That's such a good question, because claimants sometimes screw it up and then the judge has caught them. And then the judge will spend another 5 minutes basically asking them questions. Oh, I thought you said you couldn't drive a car. What car did you come in today? And then, I had one claimant get stuck in this. I had one claimant, they lied. And then the judge was like, what car did you come in today? And they're like, oh, it's just a car. And the judge said, what kind of car? Because remember, the judge has access to files as to what's registered to the person. And then the claimant fessed up and blah, blah, blah. Because the bottom line is the judge could send a clerk out to go look at what the car was in the parking lot and see what it is. There's no way around that. You're going to be stuck. So Anyways, guys, those are the 5 questions that Social Security disability judges, right, ALJs at the OHO level, the Office of Hearing Operations, which is above DDS Recon but below OHO Appeals Council, right? This is what the trial-esque judges will go ahead and basically ask that are consistent. They always pretty much ask these questions at the hearing. So if you're wondering what questions should you just get used to, get good at, because you're going to come across them, these are those questions for a Social Security disability hearing or a Social Security supplemental security income hearing. Please remember to use the like button. We only have 37 likes. We can do better than that. Also, a super thank you to those who donated. I see a Shirley there. Very cool. Shirley donated $1.99 donation. Very awesome. Very cool. We got a Linda Soto, $4.99 donation. We have a Clarissa Castillo, and we also have right up here. Let's see. I think I skipped it. I scrolled past it. Nope, that was the one. That was the one. So I will catch you guys a little bit later. The next video we're going to be doing is a fun one. I will be back in about 5 to 6 minutes, so stick around and then go to the channel's general area and you'll see that video pop up. We'll start at about 5 to 6 minutes. Attorney Walter Hnot, Disability Resolution PA. Remember to like, subscribe, click the all, and if you want to, leave a review. Google Disability Resolution Florida, Disability Resolution YouTube, or Disability Resolution Law Firm. And also, if you're looking for a disability attorney, you know who to call, and I'll catch you later. Thanks so much. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.